Welcome back to the channel, Sunshines. This week I have another exciting tutorial for you guys showing how I made my Halloween costume this year. It's a 4-part mini series, and in part 3 I'll be showing you how I made my Peak Scout sash. I'll make sure to include all the materials in the description box if you'd like to recreate the sash like I did. Now let's get into it. I found this gorgeous dark green while I was shopping for materials. Here is the kicker. It was on sale. Here's another kicker. It was only 50 cents per yard. They were trying to get rid of this specific color and I hit the jackpot. So for the length of your sash, I literally just used a tape measure and wrapped it around my body like a sash would to get an estimate of how long I needed it to be. Once I cut it out, I just wrapped the fabric around myself and trimmed it down if needed. I wanted it to come together by the hip, so I just made sure it was long enough for that. For the width, it all just depends on how wide you want your sash to be. You just need enough space to hold at least 2 rows of badges and some extra space to fold the ends of your fabric in so that the frayed ends of your sash are not exposed. After I figured out how wide I wanted my sash to be, I just added an inch on each side so that I could fold those ends in and give the illusion like it was sewn together. I'm not an expert sewer, so I prefer to just use fabric tape to hem my sash. Super easy and beginner friendly for those who don't have a sewing machine around. So what you want to do is grab your tape. I use this peel and stick fabric fuse that adheres to the fabric based on how strong you press down on it. I think the instructions recommend using a spoon to apply pressure, but I'm built like a 5'2" tank, so I will be using these babies right here. Sorry, y'all. The more pressure, the better the seal. One side is initially sticky, so you can stick it on your fabric, and the other side has paper on it. So what I did was measure out about an inch from the edge and added my tape going all the way down my sash. Once you have it down, you'll just add pressure along the tape. I recommend using something better than a ruler, maybe a spoon like they suggest. But mama don't follow no rules. I make my own rules. And then I cry in the corner when it doesn't work. And then take the paper off and fold your fabric up to where the tape is. This will create a nice fold where typically your stitches would be if you were sewing this. I just worked little by little trying to keep my fabric as straight as possible so that it wasn't crooked. Once you finish that, you'll just go one more time and put pressure on the area that has the tape to seal it once more. And that's all to it. The tape gives it a nice crisp edge with minimal effort, which I'm all about. If you've ever made your Halloween costume from scratch, you know that simpler is better because these things take some time to make. So once you finish one side, you'll go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side to make sure to get a nice crisp edge. Probably the hardest part would be making sure you keep the fabric straight, and even that isn't too bad, so I love how easy this accessory was to make. Now when you're working, double check your numbers. This was actually my 4th sash I made. The other 3 I made for my siblings and boyfriend, so you'd think I could not mess this up. Guess what? I did. Somewhere my calculation was off, so I had to bring the fabric in a little more so that the width was correct. Did I graduate with a minor in mathematics in college? Why, yes. Thank you for asking. Yes, I did. Did I still mess this sash up? Yes. Mind your business. Anyways, not a big deal, but I just had to do a little extra work because of it. I just love making extra work for myself. It's my favorite freaking pastime, okay? On the first sash I ever made, I had to guess on how to make the shape of the end of the sash, and this was pretty much my template as to how to make the rest. So I will be basing it off of that, and you can use it too if you need. So it is super easy. You just fold the corner up like I did here and press down to give it a little crease so you have a guide. Then you can add the fabric tape to it using the same method we did before, using some pressure. Then for the second piece, you just fold it the way I did here to kind of hem the end of the sash, and that's pretty much it. Just add the fabric tape again and seal her up. This is what it looks like when you're done. You'll see here that on the original sash, I added Velcro dots to it, so you can easily take it on and off because I'm a super fan of these little dots. I use them on everything. You'll basically put them in a similar spot as shown. Now the other side of the sash, you'll do something similar again. At the end of this, I'm going to show you a picture of the whole sash laying down because in the video, I had to flip the sash so I could fit it in the frame, and I don't want to confuse you on what side is going to be folded, so I'll show you that in a second. We fold the one corner down and tape, and then fold the end in again and tape. You'll also see the Velcro dots again. The positioning of your dots is totally up to you. You'll put them wherever you think you need to in order to open and close your sash comfortably, and this is how the ends should meet on your sash. Here is that picture of what the sash looks like laying completely flat. I used my Loctite super glue to attach the Velcro dots, and for the badges, I just bought some online. It was a pack of 60, so we split it amongst 4 people, and they are pins, so we just pin them on our sash. You could also make the badges yourself if you wanted a more accurate depiction, as these badges are just general camping graphics, but honestly, we don't mind that too much. We just got them for the easiness of attaching them onto our sashes. But there you have it, our very own Peak Scout sash that was so fun to make, aside from my miscalculations, but I can't wait to see all the items together. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see the last part of our Peak mini series and if you'd like to see more content like this. Thanks for hanging out and hope to see you in the next one. Love you guys, bye!